Good morning and welcome to Superior Sunrise. Join us as we bring you the latest cattle and superior livestock news, candid interviews with some of our greatest representatives, producer spotlights, and talk with industry leaders from across the United States. It's time to rise and shine the superior way.
Good morning and welcome to Superior Sunrise, live from Winnemucca, Nevada. I'm Kirby Schnorr and I'm glad you've joined us this morning. We have a great show for you full of wonderful guests, starting off with world champion auctioneer Trent Stewart to give us a brief update on the market, and ending the show with world champion auctioneer Ralph Wade to preview what we have to offer in today's auction. So grab a cup of coffee and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We all know the damages flies can cause to a herd of cattle. Studies conducted by institutions and universities in the United States and Canada show that even small infestations of flies can cause pain, irritation, and weight loss in animals. Want a herd free of flies that can reach its maximum potential? Purchase Just a Fly through championstoreiusa.com/shop or amazon.com. For more information, call 1-800-898-0987.
Welcome back to Superior Sunrise. Now joining me is world champion auctioneer Trent Stewart. Trent, here we are. It's the last day here in Winnemucca, Nevada. We talk about it every morning that the room's filling up, but the room is already full. It's been a great auction thus far. Let's talk about the market and what we can expect in today's auction.
You know, I think we'll see a real rapid sale. People are spending their money wisely, and they're cautiously optimistic. But the cattle that have the right program, the right condition, there's a lot of quality here. There's reputation outfits by reps and breeders and real progressive cattlemen and women alike that deliver the cattle the way that they should, and they have for decades. And for those that are offering cattle that fit those credentials, they're bringing a lot of money.
Well, that's one thing I know, Trent, when you're behind that, auctioneers, Mike per se, genetics. You sell a lot of these guys' cells in here. And so what do you think is the difference when those top genetics are selling and those calves are bringing more money?
Well, I think performance. They're tracking these cattle, each and every year. They know which ones survive, the ones that gain really, really well and perform for the next guy, hang the right way. Those breeders that are very progressive, they're proud of their business around here. And it certainly shows when they hit the auction block the difference between, they might be neighbors. One set of cattle might outsell them by 10 or 15 cents. So they're proud of their business, and it shows on the auction block.
It definitely does. I know another thing that we like to touch on is the icons at the bottom of the screen, all the GAP programs, the value-added programs, the superior progressive genetics. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think that the more value that you can add, the better off you are. And these buyers need information. If it's out there and the cattle have the right genetics and there's more power in the makeup of the cattle, if you let these buyers know it, even if they've had it before, they're going to reinvest on maybe new cutting-edge genetics, or whether it's NHTC or GAP4, any kind of added value programs are making a big difference. So all you can do for the cattle, or the more you can do, it'll pay you back. It just takes money to make money,
And that's the biggest thing. I know they say that it takes money to make money. Well, switching gears a little bit, I know we have a lot on our calendar coming up. We have our Bighorn Classic on August 21st through the 25th in Sheridan, Wyoming. The deadline is Saturday, August 5th. And then our Labor Day auction this year will be in Fort Worth, September 14th and the 15th, and that deadline is August 28th. So be sure to get online at superiorlivestock.com. Thanks for being on this morning, Trent. Always a pleasure. When we return, Brett DeBrucker with DeBrucker Charlet. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, and welcome to Superior's Video Royale, located in the high desert of Winnemucca, Nevada. I'm Harold Burtz, Commercial Marketing Programs Coordinator for the Red Angus Association of America. We are proud to be the primary sponsor of the 2017 Superior Video Royale. Superior's summer video sales have grown into the industry's largest offering of feeder cattle, yearlings, and replacement females. I personally want to thank you, the commercial cattlemen, for considering Red Angus genetics. Each year, hundreds of ranchers market their cattle the Superior way, and Red Angus is proud to be the main genetic supplier for so many ranches. Third-party research has verified what many cattlemen have already recognized. There is real value when you identify Red Angus calves in the marketplace. In fact, it adds up to nearly $20 per head on a 6-weight calf. Cow-calf operations have helped identify the Red Angus replacement heifer as the most favored female. She will help boost your bottom line and improve your return on this important genetic investment. Red Angus sired calves have the ability to deliver improved conversion that shortens the number of days on feed, while delivering high-quality grades and improved carcass yields that will qualify for premiums. Qualified Red Angus calves are now being welcomed into Top Dollar Angus for additional premium opportunities. In this week's sale, watch for calves sired by Red Angus bulls throughout the sale and take note of the strong demand from feeders all across the United States. You will also notice many lots featuring cattle enrolled in the Red Angus Feeder Calf Certification Program. Those wearing the Red Angus FCCP yellow tag are identified as having at least 50% registered Red Angus bloodlines, which qualify them for Angus product lines in addition to source and age verification. These calves are qualified by parentage so that there is more to those calves than simply the color of their hide. The FCCP is the beef industry's most experienced genetic, source, and age USDA process verified program. Red Angus would like to thank the crew at Superior Livestock Auction and all of the Superior reps working with producers across the country to bring these fresh ranch calves to market. And again, we'd like to thank the ranchers and cattle feeders who make this event possible. We thank you for joining us as Red Angus sponsors Superior's stretch of summer video sales, which started with the week in the Rockies, this week in the high desert in Winnemucca, Nevada for Video Royale, and finishing out the season with the Bighorn Classic in Sheridan, Wyoming. Sponsoring summer video sales are just one example of Red Angus's commitment to our bull customers in delivering added value options and superior market access. For more information on the available marketing programs or the FCCP program, visit redangus.org, and we thank you for marketing your cattle the Superior way.
Welcome back to Superior Sunrise. Now joining me is Brett DeBrucker with DeBrucker Charolais. Brett, I want to thank you for being on this morning. I know I had to kind of pull you away from some of your bull customers in here. I know some of their calves are selling on the auction today, so let's just dive right into it. Let's talk about your program, your cattle operation. Just tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and Superior does a great job putting on this function. I want to say that. They do a great job for the ranchers, and that's just what we're trying to do. You know, we try to make some bulls that work for these guys in this high desert country, and we have a great group of people that we're working with. We really appreciate that. You know, as far as our bulls, you know, we'll market about 600 bulls in our annual sale every year, and then you know, we'll private treat another 300 probably, just depending on the spring. Yeah. And you know, we're trying to make bulls that, you know, are tough enough to work in tough country, tough desert country, get out and go to work, and they'll calve, grow. One of the big things we're working on always is performance and feed efficiency. We think that helps the rancher, you know, when the calves are on the side of the mother, and then helps those feeders want to buy those calves that, you know, pay the top price for those ranchers so that they can take them into the feed yard and, you know, yield good returns there, not only in the carcass but monetarily, so the feeder can make some money on them too.
Well, I know that's one thing you guys have focused on. We've done your American Rancher for several years, so we've really focused on your program, but genetics is a really big thing to you guys, and you can see that here because the customers that you have that are buying your bulls but in return then are selling the calves, you're here to participate in the buyback program. So talk about genetics and how it's kind of a full circle and plays into your guys' operation.
Well, I'm not exactly sure how to answer that other than to say, you know, we love feeding cattle out of our bulls. there's plenty of Charolais bulls out there, and lots of good ones, but the ones we've had the best luck with are the ones that got some performance and feed efficiency and really do the job. And what we found is, those genetics, we feel like we've got that, and those calves go out and really do the job at the feedlots.
What's it like to be in this auction room and kind of see your customers here and, bring top dollar on their calves?
It's a lot of pride. We're very happy for our customers. We appreciate them getting bulls from us. Really makes us very happy to see them, have a good day here today and sell for top prices. And we do what we can to help that. We're here to buy some calves today, and we'll get as many bought as we can. And if we don't get them bought, we'll be bidding on them.
Well, I know they love that. So I want to thank you for being on this morning. I want to thank you for being here and supporting, Superior Livestock consigners and customers, but supporting, some of your customers as well. When we come back, Superior Livestock Representative Jim Davis, stay with us.
Superior Livestock is proud to announce a new partnership with Biozyme Inc. Since 1995, value-added calf programs have created premiums when calves sell on Superior's video auctions. Traditionally, when ranchers think of adding value, it is derived from a quality health program dependent upon vaccinations. But together, Superior and Biozyme are putting a new twist on creating premiums for healthier cattle through a mineral supplement program. Healthier cattle are more profitable, and now cattle that have been fed a VitaFerm or GainSmart Amifirm-based mineral supplement for a minimum of 45 days prior to auction will receive the VitaFerm or GainSmart value-added logo in Superior's catalogs and on-screen as the cattle sell. VitaFerm raised targets cow-calf producers and is for calves that are raised on a VitaFerm fed dam and or was fed a VitaFerm mineral themselves during preconditioning for a minimum of 45 days prior to the auction and through delivery. GainSmart targets stocker, feeder, and backgrounding operators and will recognize calves that have been fed a GainSmart mineral for a minimum of 45 days prior to auction and through delivery. For more information, go to superiorlivestock.com or call 800-422-2117.
That's John's brother.
Welcome back to Superior Sunrise. Now joining me is Superior Livestock Representative Jim Davis. Jim, I don't even know where to start with you or how to get into this, but a lot of people like to say this is possible because of you. And that's got to be such a humbling experience. I know a lot goes into it. I know Mary Sue is a big part of this, but this has been happening for 25 years. What does that mean to you to have this auction for 25 years here in Winnemucca, Nevada?
Well, 25 years now, and it's hard to believe. And it started out with a 2-day sale, and nobody showed up. And anyway, we just kept going, and now we've developed it into this, a 4 or 5 day sale, and it's just been a real dream. I never knew we were going there. So, and everybody comes, and all the ranchers out west put their cattle on this sale. And anyway, it's been a real honor and hard to believe 25 years ago.
Which is so crazy. I know we were talking about that on stage last night. Ralph and I were 25 years, but you and I have talked about this. I got to travel around a little bit with you and Mary Sue, and we went to some of your customers. And that's one of the special things about our business is that they're not just customers, they're family now. So tell us about that.
Well, a lot of my customers now have sold with me 29 years. And I put it in the catalog when I sell their cattle, but they're 25 to 29 years, and they are like family. And we go to graduations and family Easter. Sometimes we spend with ranchers, and they become a family. And we're real close with all our customers, real close. And so it's every day I get up at 4 and go ship cattle. And Mary Sue and we just it's going to be a good day, a special day, and we make it fun. Every day I ship cattle, it's fun. And anyway, I couldn't do this without my wife, and she goes with me, and so we're a team there, big time. Couldn't do it without her. So. Anyway.
And that's what a lot of people say. They say, if you see Jim, you also see Mary Sue because she's making it happen. Well, let's just go back real quick, Jim, before we have to get off air. How did we get to Winnemucca, Nevada? How come we're here?
Oh, well, it's a great story. I was about 20 miles north of Winnemucca. I had an old bag phone. And Jim Odell called me, and he said, Jim, we were going to have a sale in Denver. And he said, we can't do it. The Pope's there. We can't get one room. And he said, we need to have a sale in Winnemucca. So I was thinking Reno and John Esquaga, I was thinking we'd have our sale there. But my good friend Garley Amos He said, Jim, I was selling his cattle already from Winnemucca, and Garley's a wonderful person. And anyway, he said, bring it to Winnemucca, and if we come to Winnemucca, you'll be here forever. And here we are. So the Pope and Garley Amos got us to Winnemucca. That's how we got here.
And 25 years later, we're still here. Well, I want to thank you for everything you do, Jim. Always a pleasure to have you on Sunrise and get to talk with you.
Thank you for all you do.
Oh, well, thank you. When we come back, Carl Lufkin with Lufkin Angus. Stay with us.
Superior's heading west for the Bighorn Classic.
You put them on Superior, there's going to be a lot more people see your cattle. And if you start getting some different people buying them, that competitive deal is kind of tough to beat.
It's as tough as the West.
We've been on a Bighorn Classic sale for quite a few years now. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's been the top market, we figure.
Long range, huh? Says here in a weight gain trial of 15,000 stockers, parasite control with long range outperformed 5 other dewormers by an average of 28 pounds. Extra 28 pounds per head. Wonder what that'd feel like.
Do not treat within 48 days of slaughter. Not for use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older, including dry dairy cows or in veal calves. Post-injection site damage such as granulomas and necrosis can occur. These reactions have disappeared without treatment. You have a lot to gain with long range.
Welcome back to Superior Sunrise. Now joining me is Carl Lufkin with Lufkin Angus. I want to thank you for being on this morning, Carl. I know we didn't have to tug your arm very, very hard, but we got you on here this morning, so let's go right into it. Let's talk about your program and operation and kind of the genetics and makeup of your cattle.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity to be a part of a great event here, and we're located in central Idaho. Salmon, Idaho is where I call home. We raise registered Angus cattle and have done so. That herd of cattle has been in that valley for a long, long time. And we primarily, our focus is run cattle outside. Our cattle are bred to, we run at some elevation and try to run the females outside and make sure that they're durable and functional. And I guess our focus is cavanese and breeding cattle that will try to help take the work out of raising these cattle, and yet let our customers raise big stout calves that will pay the bills in the fall.
Well, you know, that's one thing. You've seen the changes then being a part of the Angus, breeder association. And so you've seen the changes over the years. What have you had to do in your operation to make your cattle relevant to today's market?
Well, we really have to, we're trying to focus on balanced traits. Obviously, we got to focus on breeding some cattle with some carcass and a quality, so we can provide a quality product. And yet, we also want to focus on maternal traits to help our customers breed cattle that are functional and easy doing cattle that will make them, at the end of the day, will make them some money.
Yeah. I know that's one thing too. People don't understand maybe the kind of country you run cattle in. So tell us a little bit about the ground you run your cattle on.
Well, we run on the county we live in is 96% public land. So we run on a lot of BLM forest land. It's steep, dry country, and we feed hay probably about half of the year. We run up to 8,000 feet in the summertime, 8,000 to 9,000 feet, and winter at about 5,000 feet. And so we feed quite a lot of hay, and so I guess our deal is the cattle, by the time you get a calf raised in our country, the dyers are out of them because they've been through some tough times.
Well, I definitely know that people appreciate your genetics and what your cattle go through because they are able to go to their operation and work for them. So I want to thank you for being on this morning and sharing a little bit about your guys' Operation Cattle program. And when we come back, a Superior Livestock Consignor. Don't go anywhere.
At 44 Farms, we believe work starts at sunup and doesn't stop until sundown. We believe in order to live off the land, you have to love and respect it. We believe that cattle aren't just raised, they're nurtured. And we believe when you do things right, with honesty and integrity, well, things like quality and consistency happen naturally. 44 Farm Steaks, responsibly raised all-natural beef.
Raising cattle is a family tradition for the Nunley brothers, and today the large cow-calf operation continues to thrive across Texas. Their Santa Gertrudis-based cows cross with Hereford bulls, make an ideal heterosis genetic blend that produces a productive feeder animal, along with a superior cow in the pasture. Join the Nunley brothers for their One Ranch Raised annual bred heifer sale, offering 600 plus head of the finest Nunley genetics. For more information, visit nunleybrothers.com.
Welcome back to Superior Sunrise. Now joining me is Ian Tomlinson, a Superior Livestock consigner. Ian, I want to thank you for being on this morning. I know you're going to have a busy day. You've got cattle on, but let's go into it. Let's talk about the kind and makeup of cattle that you'll be selling on today's auction.
Thanks for having me. We're selling primarily Angus-based calves out of a couple different cow herds we have in Arizona. They've got all the niche programs behind them. We're selling later in the day.
Well, speaking about the niche programs that you have behind them, you really participate in GAP. Tell us a little bit about that and why you feel it's beneficial to your cattle, especially when they're up there selling.
Sure. We all of the cattle are GAP 4 certified. We feel as producers that it's a program that allows us to take a benefit of what the consumer wants. If the consumer's going to pay for it, then we'll do it. And as long as it stays consumer based and it's not something that's forced upon us, we like doing it, and in today's market, it is paying.
That's one of the things I think you hear people talk about in today's market, that if you pay more in the beginning, you kind of get more in the end. You have to pay to play. They kind of say, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with it. I think the more you put into your cattle, the more you put into different programs, the more you research those programs and decide what you want to do, the more you're going to get on your end product, whether you're selling feeder cattle or calves.
That's one thing. And I know another thing we like to touch on is the relationship between the consignor and the Superior Livestock rep. So I know your rep is Buzz Williams, and I know you could tell us stories for days on him, but we'll keep it nice and PG just for Buzz. But tell us a little bit about your relationship with Buzz. Sure.
Buzz and I met, I guess 6 or 7 years ago, and he sold all of our cattle ever since then. And we do a lot of business with Buzz. He turns out cattle for us in different states. He'll sell feeders for us on our different operations, and he sells our calves. And it's grown from kind of a client relationship to a friendship where we end up traveling a lot together and seeing a lot of different stuff. So it's been good.
I will not tell Buzz that you said anything nice about him. Don't you worry. But thank you for being on this morning. Good luck in the auction today. When we come back, world champion auctioneer Ralph Wade. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks.
An animal is just like us. The more comfortable they are, the better we perform in so many different areas, mentally, physically, our immune system. So the lower stress type protocols, from management to handling to vaccination, is obviously just increases performance.
Merck is very interested and very involved in minimizing stress on the cow herd so the cattle can perform at their best. One of the aspects that we have developed or that we have available for us is we have non-handling forms of dewormer.
You talk about deworming products and doing it orally and maybe even feed through in a way to where you're not having to handle those animals quite as much.
When you're trying to manage stress as it relates to the process of the preconditioning really that you want to get done at and around weaning time, there's two things to consider in my mind. One is when you do it, and that would mean don't do everything the day you wean. Second point would be what you use. And so what we're realizing now is that vaccinating and processing itself is a form of stress. It's not just going through the chute and being handled, it's also what's being injected.
If protection of health is the #1 priority on the ranch, performance is the second priority. So by adding the deworming products and the implant products, we're taking care of that as well within PrimeVac and able to bring that value back to the ranch and increase the marketability of those calves.
We at Merck Animal Health really focus on different products and different management tools to use to low stress in that animal. The more we can do it low stress, the better off everyone is and the more productive the calves are.
Always remember that it's your livelihood, but it's our responsibility. So we always try to remember and keep top of mind that we're trying to make your ranch more sustainable and provide products that not only protect your animals, but make them more valuable to you.
Along the dusty Winnemucca Road, when along came a semi with a high and canvas-covered load. If you're going to Winnemucca, man, with me you can ride. So I climbed.
Hey, cowboy, you going my way?
How far are you going, darling?
All the way. To Winnemucca, that is.
I've been everywhere.
Water in your veins.
Welcome back to Superior Sunrise. Now joining me is world champion auctioneer Ralph Wade. Ralph, last day here in Winnemucca, Nevada. I mean, the room is already almost a standing room only like it was yesterday. There's a lot of people here. Last night was so great. But before we talk about all that, let's talk about the auction and what we're offering today.
You're exactly right, Kirby. We've got a great crowd, a big buzz in the room, and we're starting out, of course, with Region 1. And in that, we're going to be broken down. We're going to start out with some of the really superstar genetics that we've got to offer, all day long, actually. But we're starting out with the Charolais section, and then we'll go right into the normal of it. We'll have the good Nevada calves in Region 1, and then we'll, after the Region 1, we'll go to Region 2, and Region 2 will consist of the eastern part of Montana, the eastern part of Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, and Colorado, and then we'll wind up our day with the bred stock. So it's going to be great. We've got great Utah calves and Nevada calves that are going to be in the Region 1, and a lot of really great genetics and health programs, and some of our really, really top-end calves will be on the sale here today.
I know we were talking to Brett DeBrecker earlier because some of his, sired calves will be selling today. Like you said, great genetics. And there's been a lot of great genetics and a lot of program cattle this whole week. And you really saw the difference when they were up there selling them.
You bet. And, I think, Kirby, that, it needs to be said that no doubt, and I know a lot of ranchers with their different situations maybe can't do some of the things that we see done in the health programs and protocols, but their genetic outlay, I think they have seen, and I think it becomes more prevalent, how these kids bring more dollars and how bottom line is better, and it just every year we see it just expand and get to be better every year, and it's just great to work with these great ranchers and what they do.
One thing I always like what you say, Ralph, is they're stewards of the land, and here we are out on their land and they're selling their cattle, and it might be their one paycheck per year, but you like to go to work for them and get top dollar, and so I know they're really appreciative of that. Switching gears a little bit, last night we had a great event here in Winnemucca. I mean, the whole town came out, everybody was around here, but we got to give out a scholarship or announce that we will be giving a scholarship, and on behalf of Jim and Mary Sue Davis.
You bet. Yes, and it was established by Frank Weedle and Ryan Ludvigson that come up with the idea, and Jim and Mary Sue have just done so much for this regions out here in the western part, in our industry and in this great with Superior, but also with working with these ranchers, and he's so appreciated, and he and she and are so appreciated, and I just think it was such a great gesture. And again, I want to bring out that if anyone that's listening or on that wants to be a part of this scholarship, just contact Superior. We'd be glad. They've made their donations to it. If you'd like to donate to the scholarship for it and to help out, again, like I said, like we said last night, don't know exactly what the criteria is going to be, because that's going to be set by Jim and Mary Sue as far as who will be given to, but it'll go to someone that really well deserving. That's right.
You're exactly right. Well, I want to thank you for tuning in to Ralph and I and the rest of the guests we've had on Sunrise this whole week. If you're in need of a buyer's number, give Superior a call at 800-422-2117. We'll see you in a couple weeks in Sheridan, Wyoming. Thanks for watching.